Hi guys, what is up? It's your girl Karen, aka cakedbybabyk, and welcome back to my channel. We're going in for a part 2, y'all. We're gonna be talking more about the wedding dresses that I said no to. Ironically, once again, not wearing my wedding and engagement rings, but beside the point. Let's go ahead and get into it. So to recap something that I said in part 1, which if you haven't watched part 1, what are you doing here? Go watch part 1 first. But a piece of advice I gave in part 1 is something that I started doing during my second and third wedding dress appointments. And that is to start with the dress that calls the most to you. So with this appointment, I started with the dress that I thought that I would like the most, and it was this one. She was so stunning, gorgeous. She was actually my top contender until I found my dress. I loved this dress so freaking much. The designer is Anne Barge. I loved the fabric, I loved the draping and the ruching detail, and I loved the off-the-shoulder sleeves because that is what I wanted in a dress. The only thing holding me back with this one though was the fact that I still had my first choice from the previous appointment that had the stunning back detail. Again, refer to part 1. And the fact that this one was over my budget, and I had a hard time justifying buying this dress because of the fact that it is so simple. Not simple in a bad way, but it was just more plain. And again, not in a bad way, but if I'm comparing it to all the dresses that I had already tried on, it was really hard for me to justify paying such a high price tag for a dress that had less detail than cheaper dresses that I've tried on. So I still kept it in mind. It was still my second contender. I absolutely loved it, and I put it back on the rack and I tried my other dresses. We're gonna revisit her, okay? Just stay tuned. This was the second dress that I tried on, and I absolutely loved the silhouette on me. However, I didn't like the straight across detail. I just was not in love with it. I think it was kind of weird. Not weird, but just not for me. But I really love the cat eye neckline, and I feel like that is a dress feature that really makes my body type look good. But overall, again, the straight across wasn't my thing. And now looking at it, I feel like I didn't pick this one because it was a little bit too simple for me. Like, I'm going for simple, but I don't want like overly simplistic, if that makes sense. However, this one did have a very nice mesh detailed back, and y'all know how much I like a detailed back. So that earned it some points, but not enough for this dress to make it into the running. Now, the third dress that I tried from here, I'm looking back at it and I'm like, this is gorgeous. Why didn't I pick this one? I love the exposed corset, the exposed boning. However, I don't think that I picked this one because of the draping across the boobage area. It just did not look the best. I do love a slit though, and I'm debating whether or not to put a slit in the wedding dress that I did purchase, so stay tuned on that. But if you know me, you know I love a slit. Obviously, it would be higher than the one pictured here because I feel like the placement here, it just makes me look shorter. But this one was really stunning. It just wasn't the one overall. I didn't feel the feelings. The fourth dress that I tried on here was really unique. The stylist said that this style was very popular in the UK at the moment, and she thinks that it's going to gain more popularity in the States within the next few years. So if I were to get this one, I would kind of be like ahead of the curve. Y'all know that I love the off the shoulder moment, and this had that, but in a different capacity. I liked it. I thought it was really unique, and what I liked about it even more was that the stylist, said that I could take my arms out and pin those sleeves back, and so it would be a fully just strapless dress for when I want to dance during the reception. It'd be easier to move my arms. I loved it a lot more as a strapless dress than with the off-the-shoulder sleeves, to be honest, and I just love the lace detail with the leaves. It's so stunning and gorgeous. However, overall, I think this was just a little bit too unique and ahead of the curve for me. It didn't speak to me. While I look back at photos and I think it's absolutely stunning and gorgeous, it just is not me, if that makes sense. So now she's tossed in with a nose. Now I'm looking at this next one and I'm like, why didn't I pick this one? This one is stunning. I loved how it ruched at one of the hips and not like straight across like the other dresses that I've tried on. If I'm remembering correctly, I think I didn't like the points that it came up to when it came to the top of the dress and the neckline of the dress. Now this was a sample size, so if I were to have ordered this in my size, I feel like it wouldn't have been as uncomfortable. However, this just really, I don't know. I think the points just kind of threw me off. Although it does look really good, I think the way I felt in it and like how it moved on my body, I just wasn't really in love with it. But looking at pictures, I'm like, why didn't I pick this one? And then here we are with the added off the shoulder sleeves. Dang, this looks good. You know what? I actually think I didn't pick this one because it kind of emphasizes the lower stomach and I don't like how it looks. Now going back to the Anne Barge, we tried her back on. We went to a different part of the store. I think the thing is with a lot of these wedding dresses, they looked good, but they didn't feel good. Like they didn't feel like the dress. They didn't feel comfortable enough to where I wanted to wear it for a full day. This dress, however, this was really, really comfortable. And I was really grappling between this one and my first contender from the first boutique. However, now in hindsight, looking back, I was like, there's no comparison. Like this one fits and looks so much better. I think the back detailing on the first dress was really just keeping it in the running. Here's what it looks like with the veil, and I feel like it just makes it 10 times better. And then the stylist said something along the lines of like, oh yeah, this is a super popular dress. This style is coming back. I've sold this dress, I think 24 times. And I was like, girl, you should not have told me that because you might have just lost a sale. And you know what's so freaking funny is I was talking to one of my friends, Carolyn, who you guys have probably seen her in some of the vlogs. She was in the Disney program with me. And we were talking about wedding dresses because she recently got married, and I told them about this dress. I showed them the picture and she was like, oh my gosh, I went to the same boutique and I tried on the exact same dress. So that was a really hilarious moment, and by that point I had already known that I wasn't gonna get this dress. So it just was so funny. It just affirmed my decision even further. Now I know with wedding dresses it's not like a one-of-one type of situation. Like a lot of brides will have your same wedding dress. However, having a number attached to it, 24 in just like that year, come on. It's my special day. I want to feel like the most unique person in the world. So that comment really stayed with me, and I guess that leads to my first piece of advice within this video. If you want something more unique, if you want a lesser known designer, definitely do your research and tell your stylist, but tell them ahead of time before they start pulling dresses for you. I didn't realize how important that aspect was to me until she said that. So in hindsight, I would have done things completely differently. And it's so funny because one of my friends who went with me, Annie, you guys have seen her in my vlogs, she knew who Anne Barge was, the designer of this dress, and I didn't even know, which is so freaking funny. So Anne Barge, in case you didn't know, wildly popular wedding designer. And after I tried on that one and I walked through the showroom, I was actually looking at other dresses, and this one caught my eye. I mentioned in the first video that I had always imagined something with lace sleeves, and I saw this very stunning dress. I believe the designer is Jenny Yu, which is so funny because I got married in a Jenny Yu dress, like a short one, when we did our civil ceremony, so it just felt like it was calling to me because I wanted it to be a full circle moment. But alas, you can't force it. And while I did love this dress, I think the sleeves were just a little bit too big and loose on me. It had beautiful pearl detailing on the mesh, and I loved the slit. I loved like the cut of the top part. However, I was thinking more so in the long run, and I was thinking, is this gonna be timeless? Is this gonna be out of style by the time my kids look at the wedding photos? And I feel like pearls, while I do love them and in a way they never really go out of style, I think the pearls on the sleeves really just steered me away from picking this, even though in the moment, like today, and me looking at this photo right now, I think it looks stunning. I love it. But having that timeless aspect to me was very, very important. So I think that's ultimately why I didn't pick this dress. Now, after this appointment, we just wanted to keep the good vibes going. So we went to a different boutique and I tried on more dresses. The dresses here definitely are not as pretty as the other ones that I've tried on, but nonetheless, we're still gonna go through them. This was the first one that I tried on, and while it was along the lines of what I've been trying on, the fit of this one just wasn't the best. I felt very bulky in it, and the fabric just wasn't my favorite. It was more of a satin fabric, and for some reason it just felt more, I hate to say it, cheap. So she was a no. The second one though, definitely more simple. I had never tried a dress with this neckline, one that plunges low. I loved that aspect, but I didn't feel snatched in it. In fact, I don't think I felt snatched in any of the dresses that I tried on from this boutique, unfortunately, but it was still nice to try on this style of dress because I had not tried a dress with this sort of neckline yet. And the third dress from here, this one also had that satin fabric as the first one from this boutique, and I don't know, it wasn't my favorite. Here we are just trying to like fix the neckline a little bit because I felt like it went up a little bit too high. You guys know that I like ruching and draping, but the way that this dress was made, I feel like it needed more. Like there wasn't enough ruching and draping for it to look the best. You know what I'm saying? This next one? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. This fabric clung to every single nook and cranny of my body. I did not like how it made my stomach look. However, the back detailing was gorgeous. I just wasn't a big fan of like the square neckline. I also felt like it made the top half of my body look really bulky as well. Like my boobs aren't that big. I have like mosquito bites for boobs. Just feel like the proportions were really off. However, this next one, I did like how this dress made my boobs look because I felt like it made them perky, but it wasn't too much. But again, I think this one erred on the side of more simple than I would like. And this next dress that I tried on was actually a black one, but obviously it would come in white. I actually really loved how this fabric clung to my body, but it's difficult because this is a black dress that I'm trying on. I feel like if it were in the white, it would be a hell no. Also, the draping part of the top, it did look really boxy to me. It just didn't feel like it could be the best on my body type. I kind of felt like it was swallowing the top portion of my body. So those are all the dresses that I tried on, and now I want to go through what it was like picking my actual dress. And I actually bought a dress from the first boutique that I went to because I needed to retry on my first contender, the one with the stunning back. So it was between the first contender from the first boutique and the Anne Barge from the second place that I went to, and I just needed to retry on my first contender because I needed to know and compare now that I had a second contender. So I went to the boutique and the owner was there. She happened to pull some more dresses for me while I was there, ones that I hadn't tried on yet. I actually can't remember if I've told the story in one of my like bridal get ready with me story time videos, but I'll just tell you the main gist of it here. She pulled some new dresses for me. I tried them on. The first one that I tried on, it was stunning, and it threw a wrench in my plans. I was like, Lisa, what the heck are you doing? Now I'm even more confused. And then I tried on my first contender and I was like, dude, I think she's out. She's cut, bottom of the pyramid now. I tried on the new dress that she pulled for me again, and tears. I started crying. And I actually went to this appointment alone because I think that I needed the clarity and the peace to just make the decision on my own. And I actually went to this appointment with no glam, no hair done. You'll notice in all the photos that I've shown thus far that I'm like completely made up. I wanted to do like wedding makeup and hair, well, not so much hair, but wedding makeup trial runs and test out products and see what looks good with a wedding gown. However, with this appointment, I just went in with a very nonchalant and relaxed mood. And I was like, you know what? If I try on this dress and I feel beautiful without makeup and hair done, then I'll know that it's the one. So that is another piece of advice for anybody watching, is if you are, my camera cut off, but if you are down to your last choices and you're in between, go and retry those dresses on without any makeup, without any hair done. And if you feel beautiful in any of those dresses, then you'll know that that's your dress. That was a big factor for me when I put my dress on. That's what I did when I picked my dress and I put it on and I was like, this is stunning. I feel beautiful. I feel snatched. I feel sexy. And I don't even have like the full picture of what I will potentially look like on the actual day. I think that is my biggest and most important piece of advice that I have not heard anybody talk about when it comes to wedding dress shopping. And something that I really struggled with was, how will I know that it's the one? I fully thought that I would cry when I found the one, and I did. However, for the first 2-3 appointments, I didn't have any emotional reaction to any of the dresses that I tried on. So I was like, maybe I won't cry when I find the dress. However, did end up crying. So I would say another piece of advice is to just trust your instincts and trust yourself. The shop owner where I got my dress, she said, your dress will just speak to you in a way that you can't explain. And I know that's like really kind of shitty advice because I'm trying to explain to you right now and I literally can't. But I think another thing for me that helped was trying to envision my day with every single dress. And if I couldn't see myself wearing that dress, then it was out. Damn, I feel like I had a lot more advice in part 1, but hopefully you guys still found value in this video. I think it was definitely very fun for me to relive all the wedding dresses that I tried on. I cannot wait to show you guys my actual dress. I've only shown a handful of people. I haven't even shown like my bridesmaids yet, so that will be very interesting. We're doing a first look with everybody. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I'll be happy to answer them in the comments. And with that being said, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, thumbs up, all that good, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!